Hey man, they never taught you this in school, and no one warned you about it either. But the moment you master detachment, everything you used to chase starts chasing you. Not because the world changes, but because you do. You stop begging, you stop performing, you stop placing your self-worth in other people's hands. And that energy shift, it flips reality upside down. Suddenly the people who ignored you notice you. The women who took you for granted miss you. The opportunities you once had to fight for start showing up. And it's not magic, it's frame. It's power, it's detachment. Detachment doesn't mean you stop caring, it means you stop needing. There's a massive difference. When you're needy, your energy leaks. You broadcast desperation, even if you say all the right things. But when you're detached, you become magnetic. Because you're not trying to force anything. You're not clinging, you're not auditioning, you're simply being. And that stillness, that calmness, that sense of inner fulfillment, it attracts people like a gravitational pull, because now you are the center of your own world. Every man has gone through this. You like a woman, you chase, you try to impress, you try to convince her you're worth it, and she slips further away. Then you give up, you detach, you stop texting, you stop caring, and suddenly she starts watching your stories, liking your posts, texting you out of nowhere. What changed? Not her, you did. The second your energy stopped reaching for her validation, she started reaching for yours. That's detachment in action. It's not strategy, it's a state of being. And it works every single time. You have to understand that most people are repelled by neediness because it reminds them of their own emptiness. But when you show up full, when you're not seeking but choosing, you become rare. And people always chase rarity. Detachment is rare. Most men are emotionally reactive. They're clinging to outcomes. They're afraid of loss. But a man who's truly detached says, I'd like this to work, but I don't need it to. And that energy, it shifts power. It commands respect, because you're no longer negotiating with life. You're leading it. You ever notice how the guy who cares the least always seems to get the most attention? It's not because he's a jerk. It's because he's detached from outcome. He's not playing emotional games. He's not begging for approval. He's not afraid of being alone. And that self-sufficiency, that emotional abundance, it sends a silent message to everyone around him. I don't need you to feel whole. I'm already whole. And that kind of man, that man becomes the one everyone wants to be around. Detachment is emotional discipline. It's the ability to feel desire without letting it control your behavior. Most men get a taste of validation and immediately become slaves to it. One compliment and they start changing their plans. One flirtatious glance and they lose their backbone. One good morning text and they start imagining a future. But a detached man, he receives, he observes, but he doesn't get pulled in. He stays grounded. He lets things unfold without gripping them. And that emotional restraint, it's power in its purest form. You want to master detachment. Start by mastering your response to silence. When she doesn't text back, when the call doesn't come, when the opportunity goes cold, most men spiral. They overthink. They reach out again. They beg for closure. But a detached man lets silence speak for itself. He doesn't fight it. He embraces it. But he knows, if something truly belongs in his life, it won't require begging. And if it fades in the quiet, it was never real to begin with. Detachment is not a game you play with others. It's a truth you hold with yourself. You can't fake it. You can't pretend you're unbothered while checking your phone every 5 minutes. Real detachment comes from self-respect, from building a life so full that you don't need anyone to fill the gaps. And ironically, the moment you stop needing others to complete you, they become drawn to your completeness. Women feel detachment the way men feel curves. It's instant, it's visceral, it's magnetic. A woman can tell within seconds if a man is emotionally hungry or emotionally whole. If you're detached, she doesn't feel the pressure to entertain, to validate, to reassure. Instead, she feels safe in your presence, because she knows consciously or not that you're not going to drown in her emotions. And that security, that emotional freedom, it creates deep, long-lasting attraction. Let's talk about business. Detachment works there too. The client you follow up with 10 times ignores you, but the one you calmly give space to suddenly reaches out, because people respect those who respect themselves. Desperation kills deals. Scarcity ruins charisma. But when you detach from outcome, when you say, this is what I offer, take it or leave it, you reclaim the power. You stop chasing and start choosing. And that shift changes everything. Detachment doesn't mean you don't care. It means you don't collapse. You can love someone and still walk away if they disrespect you. You can want something deeply and still let it go if it's not aligned. Detachment is not apathy, it's power. It's saying, I care, but I care about me more. And that kind of clarity, that's what separates men who command respect from men who get emotionally destroyed by every wave of chaos. A detached man is dangerous, not because he hurts people, but because he cannot be manipulated. Guilt doesn't move him. Rejection doesn't break him. Silence doesn't scare him. He's seen all of it and remained himself. And when you reach that level, you become untouchable. People stop trying to play you. Women stop trying to test you. Life stops controlling you because you finally understand nothing real can be taken and nothing fake is worth keeping. When you master detachment, you move differently. You walk into rooms without seeking attention, but everyone notices. You speak less, but people listen more. You don't compete, but somehow you always win. Because your value doesn't come from others, it radiates from within. You've stopped playing the external game. You've built an inner world that's so strong, so peaceful, so self-sustained that others want to be part of it. Detachment gives you time back. You stop over-analyzing texts. You stop replaying conversations. You stop obsessing over who likes you or what they meant. Your mind gets quiet. Your energy returns. Your focus sharpens. And suddenly you're building. You're leveling up. You're evolving. Not for her, not for approval, but because you finally have the bandwidth to pour into yourself. That's how detachment accelerates your entire life. It removes the mental clutter that's been draining you for years. You don't become detached overnight. It's built through discipline, through disappointment, through heartbreak. Every time you chase and lose, beg and get ghosted, overinvest and get ignored, you're being trained not to be cold, but to be clear. Life is teaching you the truth that everything you chase runs, but everything you align with arrives. That's the reward of detachment. You stop being a beggar in your own story. You start becoming the man everyone is drawn to, but no one can shake. The world senses when you're desperate, even when you think you're hiding it well. That nervous energy, that emotional hyper-focus, that constant overthinking, it all leaks through your tone, your body language, your silence, your online presence. People can feel it. And the truth is, nobody wants to be the thing you need to survive. They want to be desired, not depended on. But when you're detached, when you already feel complete, whole, and steady, without needing anything external to validate you, that's when people begin to see you as high value. Because now you don't just want them, you can afford to choose them. And choice is power. You want to know why she stopped replying after things were going well. It's because she felt the energy shift. In the beginning, you were calm, playful, easygoing. But then you got attached to the outcome. You got emotionally invested too soon. You started monitoring every move. You subtly started chasing. And without even realizing it, she pulled away. Because when a man's emotions become a leash, she'll chew through it just to breathe. Detachment is oxygen to feminine energy. It lets her come to you without pressure, without fear, without feeling like she's being emotionally hunted. Detachment also filters your life. You stop tolerating lukewarm relationships, half-hearted friends, flaky people, and inconsistent women. Because now you value your peace more than your loneliness. You'd rather sit alone in silence than sit with someone who disturbs your mind. That's how men become kings, not by surrounding themselves with people, but by surrounding themselves with standards. When your standard is inner peace, your whole life starts aligning with better people, better opportunities, and deeper fulfillment. And it all starts with the same move, letting go of what doesn't feel solid. The truly detached man doesn't need revenge. He doesn't chase closure. He doesn't wait for apologies. He just moves different. He evolves in silence. He builds while others watch. He heals without performing it for social media. And months later, when she sees you glowing, focused, elevated, she won't understand how you did it, because she expected you to fall apart, but you didn't. Why? Because you had the discipline to detach before destruction. And that self-control, that quiet grace, that's the kind of masculine energy that haunts people in the best way. You'll know you're detached when you stop checking who's watching your stories, when her silence no longer stings, when you don't flinch at inconsistency, when people's passive-aggressive comments slide off you like water, when your focus turns inward, when your mornings are driven by vision, not validation, when you stop reacting to temporary moods and start responding to long-term alignment. Detachment gives you emotional immunity, and that immunity becomes your superpower in a world addicted to emotional chaos. And listen, the world will try to pull you back. Your old self will scream to chase, to explain, to beg for understanding. But the detached man knows better. He's seen what happens when he betrays his stillness to win someone over. He's felt the cost of needing too much. He remembers how it felt to lose himself just to gain temporary affection. And now, he doesn't go down that road again, because once you taste the peace of being untouchable, unimpressed, and unbothered, the chaos of attachment starts to feel cheap, unworthy, beneath you. Women respond strongest, not to men who give the most, but to men who hold the most. The man who holds his emotions, his frame, his silence, his standards, and his vision without folding. That's the man she obsesses over, not the one who texts first every time, not the one who asks, "Are you okay?" every 2 hours, but the one who's grounded, calm, steady, who gives space and lets her come. Because when a woman realizes she can't manipulate your emotions, she either respects you more or removes herself. Either way, you win. In every relationship dynamic, romantic, business, social, the most emotionally detached person always has the most influence. Why? Because they're not operating from lack. They're not negotiating with fear. They're not trying to earn love, earn attention, earn worth. They've already claimed it internally. And that unshakable internal power, that's what makes others want to align. People don't follow the loudest voice. They follow the quietest man who never moves unless he means it. So if you're still wondering how to master detachment, here's the secret. Stop trying to control outcomes and start controlling your focus. Pour into your body, your routines, your mind, your income, your sleep, your circle, your faith, your silence. Fill your day with so much internal value that your external world becomes a reflection of your self-worth. And suddenly people will say, "He's glowing up, but I can't reach him anymore." And they'll feel the shift, because now you've elevated into the man they never thought would stop chasing. Master detachment, brother, and you master life. Because the second you stop chasing, you start attracting. The second you let go, things come back. Not because you tricked them, not because you manipulated the game, but because you finally understood that real power isn't in holding tighter, it's in knowing when to release. You are the gravity now. You are the stillness. You are the storm that doesn't flinch. And when you move through life like that, everything finds its way back to you, not by force, but by the magnetic pull of a man who no longer needs to beg because he finally remembered his worth.